Hi, this is Reese from CreataCRM, and this is the first video for CreataCRM for MYOB and integrating with MYOB. The key thing is when you're wanting to link your MYOB to a CRM, you want to actually have better relationships with your customers. That's the first thing. You want to have better follow-ups, and you want to bring everything in one location. So with everything in one location, what that actually means is that means that all your emails in Office 365, if you're sending emails, that brings into those customers, so you can have better transparency on what's been said with customers. We do have email marketing automation, so that means that any clicks and just sending out general information to your clients, it's easy to do. We do have reporting systems in here that you can have dashboards. We'll show you what that is. We do have phone systems calling out to the customers, and pretty much we work on the majority of the devices. So anything, wherever you are, you can access your data, and that's the most important thing. And you're accessing data not just with the accounting system, you're also accessing the data of all these elements itself. So the key thing is that this first video we're going to be covering building better relationships, looking at buyer behaviors, showing you how you can build better hierarchies in the systems, tasks and follow-ups, capturing all information and better reporting systems. So we'll show you what that looks like. So from the start, we have a customer in MYOB. We have a little tab, just the drop-down menu along here, and that shows you when we bring data across. So for example, we bring MYOB's data across. And what that looks like is that we also bring the current balance, the total sales, year-to-date sales, the credit limits, and so you have a better transparency of your customers in one place. You have a nice interactive dashboard that we group them in sales reps here, because you probably organize them sales reps as well, and you can see what's going on in a real easy view. And you have a single click views, for example, of those customers here, let's say Footloose Dance Studios. We also bring things like the invoices across, and you'll be able to see all the invoices grouped by the sales reps, because invoices have sales reps, and then also all the invoices, and if they're paid or not paid. There's a thumbs up for if they're paid and they haven't paid itself. Now your accounting system does that, but it's more importantly for letting your staff know who represent you on what's going on as well. So you don't want to give them the accountancy package, because that's really for the admin people to do. But more importantly, so when people do call, you'll be able to see the person, one of your sales reps who is managing Footloose, can see what's the transparency of what's going on, if they're paid or not paid. For example, for this one, they've got an overdue invoice here, which they've paid $679, but they haven't. There's $267 they haven't paid. So lets the person in the database access what's going on there. The other things you have here is that we do bring the quotes and the sales orders is here, and we also bring the inventory as well. So that gives you a really beautiful dashboard of anything stock on hand in your system. For example, anything that, so when a client calls saying, I want to buy a pine stand, and there's only one left and he wants 3 of them, so you've got to do a purchase order. Now that's another topic. We can just, for example, create a purchase order and do some drop shipping in our system here, but that's another video that we'll focus on. Okay, so we'll now look at actual CRM and how it benefits you just with Creator itself. So in the customer side of the fence, let's look at Footloose Dance Studios here, as we mentioned beforehand. For example, you have a tab in MYOB. We've got all these other extra things like the colleagues. So the key thing for the accountancy package that you bring in, let's say, one person in the database called Tim, for example, but you can now build Steve and Bob and all these other people in the database and build a better relationship. So that gives you the ability to build a lot more people in the database and build a better relationship. And you keep it, obviously, the accountancy package just to invoice Tim. He or she could be the accounts payable, but the key thing is that you can build all the other people around it and build a better relationship. The other key thing is that with MYOB, you can see the invoices here, so you can just double click on the invoice here. As I mentioned beforehand, this one is open at the moment. It has been part paid, so you can actually double click on it and see that it's been part paid in here as well. So you can see what's going on with this particular invoice, and then if this, for example, the client has a credit limit, you can look at the credit limit here and say, well, actually you have a credit limit, which is so in front of me here, but it should be fine. I can't see it in front of me, but it's not credit on hold, so they're happy to buy more product from you, even though they've still got some balances in the other account or other invoice. But that means that again, it's about helping your colleagues better build relationships, because they will have the transparency of all the information needed to make the right decisions for their particular customer. And that's the key thing, is if they just want to build more people in the database, they just add an employee and go Andrew Smith, for example, and that's it. That's as simple as that. And just build all the people that they're speaking to in the database, and they will be able to see and add, that's Andrew Smith in here in the database that quickly. So that keeps on building it and building that relationship. The other key thing is that we do awesome hierarchies. What that means is a lot of your companies have, for example, let's say Bunnings, we pick on Bunnings, and you build a Bunnings, but you need to drop ship all these other all the places, but you still need to call them up and they do orders from you. You can actually create the parent company. For this occasion it's Footloose, Dance Studios, but then you've got all the 3 other companies, which is My Town Realty, CreataCRM, and A to Z. Stationaries, the sub-companies underneath that, and that's important. And why that is important is that communication. So for example, see, we've got these 4 colleagues in here that you have, but you can just do a toggle for all the sub-companies, and there they are. There's all the sub-companies under Footloose Dance Studio, and you can actually just communicate them easily. And that's important when, for example, change a price list and the company has sub-companies where they have the same price list. You can just simply send an email to all those people, click on the email button, 8 recipients, send information. Here's to send the price book across. The price book has got their price list that they have, and that is that simple, that you can send information out to all the subsidiaries of one organizations. Other things that, look, you probably need to look at other videos, but we'll go through at a glance. You can make general notes, you can make a phone call and note a meeting. So if I made a phone call, I spoke to the person and said follow up, and I had a chat with that person saying about whatever, about the info he requested, whatever it is. Okay, whoops, sorry. And so you can save a note there, that simple, and that will actually put a timeline of that note there, follow up, and it shows you that you've done that as well, but all the information put into one location as well. So you've got see all the notes and history, emails if you attach through Office 365, all in the activity section. And that means not just you, but all your staff that's been talking to Footloose and all sending communications to Steve or Tim or Charles. All that stuff gets put into the file of the company Footloose Dance Studio. So that is really important for you to see that. Now, the other little micro things you have as tasks you can have is that you can create some cool follow-up tasks in the system. So that means if you want to create a follow-up task, I'm just going to click on follow-up and say monthly follow-up task. And that means if you can go to Footloose, you want to follow them up every month or visit them, follow-up, monthly follow-up. Okay, we're going to create a reoccurring, yes, every month. We're not going to repeat, not going to end the repeat, so it keeps on going on and on and on. So that means when you have a follow-up repeat, if I actually clear that off for today and I've done that follow-up, that means if I refresh that little screen there, it creates another follow-up for the next month, which is the 10th of the 1st. So every 1st of the month, it's going to create a follow-up. So if I clear that, and I've done that task, and just refresh it just here, it makes one for the 1st of the 11th. So that's really important. You can go through all your clients, create monthly follow-up tasks, and we have alert reminders in here. So we have little bells, and it can send you an email of sending you a task out. This is saying every overdue task, notify the users, and it just sends you a notified little bell here and sends you an email. That simple. So you get also email reminders for all your monthly follow-up tasks. Now, the other things we do have is a mapping system. So that means you can click on regions here and see all your regions in here. So you can actually go through and click on here and see all your customers in one location. So for example, New South Wales, we've got geofencing in your system in maps, and you can just build out saying, okay, here's a client in ANZ Stationery Supplies in Bondi. I can click on him and I can see what's going on. There's a follow-up task for me to do that. Have I done it? It's the 1st of November, and here's the information in here. The other things that you have with, which I haven't covered actually, is a dashboard, for example. example. So you're going to visit that person. So I'm going to just go to, if you, for example, go, hey, look, I need to actually go to a region here. I'm going to visit this person. So you're going to go, look, good point. I'm going to just visit him. So I want to actually see what's his buyer behavior. Now you do have tabs here, which is the buyer behavior items in here, which is just a nice list for you. You can search what they have. Also, showed you the invoice side of the fence, which is this here. But we do bring in the dashboard, so you can click on the dashboard section in Creator, and you can click on customer invoices for this particular customer. And you can see a nice dashboard for that customer in grouped by month and stacked by items. So that means you can see this particular person is buying, for example, large coolers and some hourly services. So we're going to just have a look at that and just filter around Win Dizzy by large coolers. He's more of a, doesn't rent it, he more buys it. And he does more servicing for his clients. So you can see a nice interaction dashboard for the clients. For example, he's got 3 open invoices in here. So beautiful invoices across, having group nice financials of last sale was the 3rd of the 1st, 2021. It's gone, his last year-to-date financials gone up, year-to-date sales gone up, and current balance is 1.7k that he owes you. Okay, so you have a nice couple dashboards itself that you can have there. Now, we do have the ability to do a customize your dashboard. That's another video, but you can then start building your own dashboards, and that the data that we do bring across into Creator, you can create interactive dashboards. A bit of an advanced thing, but we can show you how that works for some of the users. Now, the final thing I'll probably mention is that you do have the ability to have mobile phone experiences in here, so you can click on a mobile phone. You can see here the tasks. You can see all the follow-up tasks that you have on your mobile phone. For example, there's a monthly task that was due. That's Footloose. You can see ANZ. So you can see all these cross activities, but you can have a follow-up task on your mobile phone, and you can click on the customer itself. You can get driving directions for them. Whoops, I'm going to click on that again and click on the right button. There you go. There you go, right button there, and then you get the street directions here, and you can get driving directions on your mobile phone. That means that you have obviously the ability to see all your invoices in the system, what's going on. Again, that we have a lot of information. You get your customers in here. You can look at Andrew Smith and call him up on your mobile phone, and that gives you the ability to have everything in one location. That was one of the first screenshots that we have, that you can have your information at one location, and you can start building your customers all in there. So that kind of helps you. Hope you that helps. This is the first video of probably about 5 that we're going to have showing you. The next is more to do with sales side of the fence, but please ask more questions about Creator. There's other videos that go into more depth of some of the features, but this one's overviewing for MYOB. Thanks, bye.